This holiday season, we all wish for hope and healing. Children and families who spend their holidays at the hospital deserve a reason to believe in first steps, in giggles, high fives, and hugs. For 150 years, Children's National Hospital has provided world-class care and groundbreaking research. Please donate today to help patients and healthcare heroes this holiday season. Visit childrensnational.org/holiday. That's childrensnational.org/holiday.
While traveling, it's usually best to pack light. When it comes to money, carrying some cash and having an alternative like Zelle is a great idea. Zelle's an easy way to send and receive money with people you trust. At any U.S. bank, it's already in thousands of different banking apps, and it's money straight into your bank account in minutes fast. Look for Zelle in your banking app today. Safe travels.
Put that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open, you'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
And good evening and welcome to the tavern. I am Travis. Tonight's topic, we're going to be recording the podcast of a B-movie Downgrade, and I'll tell you a little more about that in a couple minutes. Do want to let folks know this is an adult show with adult topics, adult language, and adult humor. So if that is an issue for you, get the fuck out before you get your goddamn feelings hurt. We love you enough and care enough to throw your ass out. On the bright side, if you like being offended, we'll do it for free. You're welcome. What else do I want to talk about here? Oh, disclaimer. We are recording a podcast. When we record an episode for the podcast viewers, or listeners, we have a live audience on chat. And there will be times where when you hear this sound, that means we're going to read something out of the chat. Though we might read it without that sound. Who knows? Just so everybody's aware of how that works and what's going on. Now, as I said, I am Travis Sivart. I am your host and author and some other things. Well, people call me a lot of things. But let's introduce these other two here. Aaron, who worked a hard and heavy day, and he's whipped, but he's come to join us anyway to discuss one of his favorite topics. So, Aaron, why don't you introduce yourself? What's your vices tonight, too?
Tonight we are having ginger ale, and it may be mixed with rye at a later point. I'm Aaron Kennedy, master tradesman, doctoral candidate, and all-around guy.
See, I love the fact that we get Aaron on here. By the way, lift your mic up just a little bit. You're a little quieter than you were. That should be good. We bring Aaron on here, and in the tavern, we have all kinds and everything. But here we have a guy with doctorates, but he also works the grunt-level jobs, the blue-collar jobs, at the same time. And it's just a fucking great dichotomy. Okay, keep moving, cat. Now, speaking of... wow, I just wonder how it comes out when I say speaking of dichotomy. Andrea, why don't you introduce yourself and tell them what your vices are tonight?
Okay, Andrea Lachat here. I've got tea and knitting over here somewhere for later. That's it.
Very good. And I'm
not a math tradesman or anything, but I am a giraffe tonight.
You are. And
they don't exist.
That's next week's topic, Aaron.
What? Huh?
Yes.
I'm not here next week, so.
Right. We're gonna miss out on that. And hold on a second, I'm gonna trade. No, that's that. Okay, guys. My vices tonight is Jameson Caskmates, cats. Between me and my keyboard and what is it? C&D Captain Bob's blend-in pipes. I have 3 different pipes set up here, depending how much I'm in the mood to put things in my mouth tonight for our video audience.
Don't put the cats in your mouth. They don't like it.
This cat is very warm. Okay, let us know in chat for the live chat audience. What are your vices tonight? What are you enjoying and partaking of that you can't? There's Andrea subscribing with Prime out of the blue. And here's to you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Raise her a glass there. Actually, I just like drinking, so whatever. Okay, so tonight's topic, as I said in this one, we're going to be discussing B-movie downgrades. Now, by that, we're going to be talking a lot about different movies. Some that were super expensive to make that just flopped. Some that got Oscars that maybe shouldn't have got Oscars. And others that were just horrible, but we love them anyway. Or perhaps that's why we love them. The first one on the top of my list that I saw, because this is one I had to research, because I knew I'd never remember all this or know all the things that felt relevant. But in the list of researching bad movies, I saw a couple that I really love, including Super Mario Brothers with Bob Hoskins.
Oh, and John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I need a copy of this. Does anybody have this on Blu-ray or DVD? Because I really need a copy of,
I forgot about that movie.
It's such a fun movie. Because it's just over the top. It's silly. It starts off as though it's going to be something epic, and then it ends up being Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, it's not even a good version of Mario Brothers at all. It is like the worst representation ever.
I mean, they're plumbers, and they end up in the Mushroom Kingdom. They hit the plot point.
Yeah, and they have BDSM bad guys and disco. I don't even remember all of it anymore, but I like it, even though it's really kind of crappy. It is hard to use.
And I love the fact that friggin' Peach is in love with Luigi, not Mario.
See, I don't even remember that. It's been too long. So do we?
Oh no, I watch it every 3 months.
Do you? I believe you. Shall we start out with basically movies that were good that nobody really likes or people bitch about? So basically,
I thought you just...
the downgrading from a high quality movie to not an A-list movie. So for example,
Avatar.
Okay,
What?
Avatar, which one?
Yeah. Oh, okay, sorry. Avatar, James Cameron, epic friggin' adventure about the Smurfs and Fern Gully. Okay? No, and I'm really going to point this out. For those that like Avatar, give me one commonly done quote.
That's true.
There was words in that movie?
Huh?
There were words in that movie?
Right. No, don't get me wrong. It's
I just know it was
beautifully
pretty. I was
renditioned, it's
mesmerized.
art, but it's not good.
Well, I love the one character. I think his name, the native name was Dances with Wolves. He was great. By Kevin Costner. Yeah, I remember him.
What?
It's the same plot line as Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
This is a warmed over meatloaf plot line, but man, did they make that plate pretty when they served it up to you.
Right.
I don't remember anything about the movie other than it was really pretty and shiny. I don't know what it was about.
Right.
There was a horse with hair that did a thing that's, I don't know.
Did she just do the scissoring move?
No, I ain't here to judge. Look, no, don't get me wrong. It's just one of those. I understand why people were drawn to it, okay? And that goes back to, like, the Titanic and friggin' the Terminator. James Cameron makes pretty fucking movies.
He just doesn't make deep movies.
Well, Titanic was pretty deep.
I see what you did there.
No, Titanic's actually not a bad movie because it just, okay, we've established the setting and we know the boat sinks.
Right.
Done. I'm cool. I'm on board with that.
It was a good
Okay.
story.
I see what you did there.
No, he sets it up. Okay, good. It is a B+ at best. If I wrote that story, I'd get 3 stars on Amazon, but people would read it. Avatar. Nope. It is a C movie at best.
Except for the visuals. Visuals.
That's what brought it up to a C.
Nah, the visuals is. But yeah, plot-wise. And also, they did that new technology, like, let's CG everybody, even though they look like they weren't CG'd. Wait a minute, is that CG? That is CG? Maybe it's hard to say. What? That, I think that's the official title of the special effect that they use now. But they abbreviated it as glugger.
Well, what's his face? The one that freaking directed the Transformers movies.
Oh, well, that actually is on one of the lists that I have. And,
Michael Bay, that's it. Friggin', you know what? Better movie. The first Transformers, better movie than Avatar.
Okay.
Because you got the guy who is known for making the best car chase scenes in Hollywood, bar none. And then he puts in robots that transform into cars. How badass is that? And it's just as visually exciting, but it's got a better story.
I like Transformers.
So do I.
That's more than meets the eye.
Right, that's exactly it.
Okay, I liked the first movie. And then the second movie, you couldn't tell who was fighting. It was like if I'm remembering correctly, it might have been the third.
I like the dinosaurs.
I think that
was the third, I think.
Is that the third? That one was okay, but it was like two movies in one because it was really fucking long and they seemed to have multiple plot lines. I'd have to go look up the list.
I like the one with Marky Mark.
No, oh god. Okay, no. The one with Marky Mark in it, okay? That's the boyfriend. I think it's the number 4 because I don't think I've seen 5. The fourth one, the boyfriend has a laminated card with the Juliet Law on it in his wallet. That is so skeezy.
Well,
how did that make it through the censors?
Skeezy
okay,
or smart?
No, skeezy. Okay, skeezy.
It's kind of like saying, "Oh, I carry a copy."
I like banging 17-year-olds.
I carry a copy of my custody agreement in my glove box at all times, just in case. If you're dating somebody under 18, maybe it's best to have that. Which, by the way, Sonny says...
No. If he was just dating one person, he had it laminated. Okay, that means he's got a pattern.
No, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Here, hold on a second. Sonny says the dinos were number 5, but then she questions herself and says, or was it 4? Yeah, nobody really knows. They all kind of bled together, and we all want them to be great movies. It was 4 was the one with the dinosaurs, because that also had what's his name from Burlesque and Much Ado About Nothing, and
Robin Williams.
He was not in Burlesque or Much Ado About Nothing. And by the way, Sonny also says, but they were after the first 3 because they changed the main characters, which changed the dynamic, and I'd say for the better.
Yeah.
Because by movie 3, using Shia LaBeouf, and you know what? Let's move on to a different movie because we will spend 30 minutes on Transformers alone.
Oh, okay. No. Yep, fair enough. In that case, let's use Shia LaBeouf as our friggin' pivot point and go to friggin' the 4th Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Which one was that? Was that with the aliens?
Yep.
He hid in a fridge and got nuked.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was.
And then we find out Shia LaBeouf is his son. Spoilers.
Like we didn't see
for those that will never watch this movie.
We didn't see that immediately, or at least by the time they introduced Marion.
Right.
That was.
I know I saw the movie. I don't remember it.
Mutt Jones.
I think South Park did it best when they showed George Lucas and friggin' Steven Spielberg raping Indiana Jones. That was their cartoon. That was the shock value of that one. You can look it up.
I don't even remember that.
And quite honestly, that would have been a better movie.
it's the thing is, it was no worse than number 2. One in India with pulling the hearts out and stuff. The thing is, I am very much against. I want to see Indiana Jones go the way of James Bond. Roll 3 movies, give me a new actor for the main character. Let's have some more stories.
No.
Sean Connery was in both.
No, don't get me wrong. Friggin' the problem with number 2 was it was a prequel. George Lucas likes to go back in time and explore characters that he's already created.
See, with
rather
Indiana
than moving
Jones,
forward.
It shouldn't matter what time it is. You should be able to jump around through different years.
Oh, absolutely. Your overarching force is the Nazis. You're running around seeing those guys. The only problem that you run into is friggin' Harrison Ford is now in the Get Off My Lawn stage.
Yes. Which he has been for like 15 years now.
Right. Well, he's crashed like 4 planes. Okay? The only thing that could have possibly been better is if they had cast him for Captain Sully.
It's he even plays the Get Off My Lawn guy when he interviews on like Jimmy Kimmel and stuff. It's pretty good. Yeah, I'd like to see that, but yeah, that's definitely one where I think a couple quick edits of not making Shia LaBeouf his son and actually having that be the twist that the whole movie you thought he was, and at the end, no, he's not. He's just some kid that kind of wants to be like him. And Indiana Jones needs to be the eligible bachelor he's always been and go, no kid, get off my lawn. And then pick up his hat and walk out. And by the way, he got married at like 70. Like, they're going to get along that well at that point. And
he likes banging young blondes.
Hey, good for him.
Well, really?
I mean, him, Leonardo DiCaprio, who is, by the way, a stellar actor. From What's Eating Gilbert Grape to...
Yes, that's...
right. Such a great movie.
And he didn't win anything for that.
Nope.
Yeah, but the chicks dug him.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you climb a tower.
I don't even know what that means.
In the movie, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, his character was constantly climbing the water tower.
I have never seen the whole thing.
We'll have to watch that.
I've sat down to watch it multiple times. I've gotten halfway through it. You know the other one? What's the first one before Clerks?
Chasing Amy?
No, it was Clerks,
Hope Floats?
Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Clerks 2, Dogma.
Okay, well, Chasing Amy...
And the Clerks reboot.
Hold on a second. I gotta chase cats. Come on. Chasing Amy. I've never gotten through that. I have had multiple DVDs screw up when I'm watching it. I have had cable go out in the middle of it. I have never been allowed to see the end of it by just...
That's okay.
Fate and the gods of, By the way, quick comment from Michael Thompson Books, who, by the way, is on with us for Right Night on Saturdays, which we also put up as a podcast. Says the original screenplay of Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, which is part 4. Part 5 is coming out, by the way. Was written by Frank Darabont, I believe, before it was rewritten. Found it online once, gave it a look through. Had a little more of a magical twist than an extraterrestrial one. I don't mind the... see, we will spend 30 minutes on Indiana Jones if we let ourselves... Here, let's do this. I did a little research. Andrea did a little research. I'm going to read a quick list. What's that, Andrea?
I was going to say, well, we can twist this. How Indiana Jones has its cult following. What some other B movies that have cult followings? I have a list.
I want to get through the good movies that were kind of bad, and then I want to spend the rest of the time doing exactly what you're talking about, because that's where the joy is. We've just seen, and then there's some movies like Waterworld that people are like, oh, it's horrible because it costs so much. It's actually not a bad movie.
I don't like that movie.
It is not a bad movie up until the final fight.
What were you saying, Andrea?
I was going to say, I don't like that movie because of all the water. It was good, but it gives me anxiety.
But people complain about the cost. But here's 8 movies which won Oscars. Is Oscars the same as Academy Awards? I haven't paid attention.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Oscar is the trophy. The Academy Awards is the event.
Gotcha. And it's named after Oscar the Grouch. Because it's a furry guy in a trash can in gold. Gotcha. So these are ones that people felt should not have won, and instead something else should have won. So I don't know if they're necessarily saying these are bad movies, just that there was something better. So I'm going to read through this list real quick. Around the World in 80 Days, 1956. Something we all remember fondly from our childhood.
I actually remember the Jackie Chan version better.
Yeah, that was good.
Titanic, Argo, King's Speech, Chicago, Dances with Wolves, Shakespeare in Love, Driving Miss Daisy.
All right.
So like I said, this is the same guy that every fucking movie he complained about, he's like, oh, this war movie or this 1930s gangster movie should have won.
I don't watch war movies. I just don't. And the reason being is I was in the fucking military. I don't need to watch a goddamn war movie. One, they're not realistic, or two, they're too fucking realistic.
I don't watch them in general because they're not my thing. I've seen a few, and out of all that I've seen, which isn't a lot, Saving Private Ryan shines for me just because of the characters in it. But yeah, they're not necessarily something I gravitate to, and I have yet to see something I think is a good gangster movie, because all these other ones, they're just kind of fucking boring.
I like Gangs of New York.
Well, Michael, thank you for showing us your bits, sir. Here's
No, but okay, getting back to the list that he said, okay. Let's see. I'm stuck on Argo there. I haven't actually seen Argo. I'm familiar with the story, but what was it up against? That's really the question on that one. Shakespeare in Love, it's good for once through. It's visually nice. It's not that great of a movie. It's a simple story.
With a lot of these, I found them to be good movies, the ones I did see. But now we're just splitting hairs of somebody else should have won. I don't think any of these were flops or didn't deserve to be up there at all. What about other big movies that just should have never been big? I think Aaron did good with his couple that he threw out there for us.
What, that should have never been big?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that should have never been big.
No, friggin' the second. Well, we can get into the second Star Wars trilogy.
I think that was just the money behind it made it big.
Well, no, that and the fact that it had been many years since release and all that stuff. But really, George Lucas just didn't have anybody that told him, no, you can't fucking do that. That's stupid. Stop it.
I can go with that.
Well, because one of the things that we had about Princess Leia, she was the script doctor for the first 3 Star Wars. She made Star Wars better. If you go back to the original kind of drafts and things, it's the fucking second trilogy. It's boring. Mark Hamill talks about him remembering the original lines that he read for, and you go, oh, that's just horrible. It's bad fucking writing. But he remembers it word for word because it's what made him big.
Right. It was that pivotal point in his life. Okay. Yeah. So now, let's go to what we've been waiting for. At least us personally. I don't know about our audience here. But let's start talking about horrible movies that we love. And now, like I said, I did some research, and I basically pulled up a list of cult movies. And all of these aren't bad, but they might not have been great at the box office. Then I picked up movies. Well, for example, on this list, Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds hits it. So they were big dollar movies that flopped.
Even he was like, come on now.
Well, he makes fun of it.
He does. Yeah, he does. It's and ever so wisely he makes fun of it, because That's
Well, I mean, you got that. You got the bat nipples with friggin'
that's on this list. Batman and Robin.
George Clooney. Yep, George Clooney.
Oh,
Oh, don't get me wrong. I love the stylized world that they created for that movie.
Mhm.
But Batman suffers from a too many villains thing. Most of the DC movies, Warner Brother in particular, does this. They introduce a character and they get this great character, and it's got a single villain or antagonist, and then, well, they don't have to introduce the character for the second movie, so they have two villains. And now you've got half as good of a villain on both sides. And then we get Mr. Freeze and the Riddler.
okay,
And
but the one with Penguin and Catwoman was okay though. That did good.
it's not a good movie.
What?
It is not. No, she licks him. She does this creepy ass licking thing. Right, Andrea? That's the one scene you remember.
It doesn't have to be good for you to like it.
Okay.
Between that and
Look.
Grease 2, it made Michelle Pfeiffer a sex goddess in my teens. When she straddles that ladder and sings, Grease 2 is another one that just, you're like...
So did the Sears Roebuck Wish Book with the lingerie section, sir.
Yeah, we started getting the glossy magazines in the 80s with the lingerie. It's before they're airbrushing out nipples. It was a good time.
See, this goes along the lines because before I was telling you I was doing research and I went down a rabbit hole and it led to porn.
A rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Couple comments here. And good evening to Rabin, and thank you again to Sunny for joining us. Rabin Wright says Labyrinth probably qualifies for the where we started, not what we're talking about now. In reference to what we're talking about now, Rabin says creepy ass licking is not exactly how I would phrase things.
Well, cats, cats lick their ass. Noodle's not right now. He's asleep.
Labyrinth, okay. I've got a special place in my heart for Jim Henson and the Muppets and Fraggle Rock and all that stuff.
Agreed.
Labyrinth, it's a simple story, but you got this creepy David Bowie guy that steals a baby because he's in love with the girl.
Was he in love with the girl?
That's why he stole the baby.
Oh.
I really didn't get that as love. I felt like he was more like ownership. More like he wanted to control her.
No. She made a wish of the from the guy she loved, or from the guy that loved her, and he did it.
Okay. By the way, Sonny.
But this goes back. This goes back to like the early '80s renditions of Love, to where you get some real stalker vibe
right
going on.
Sonny said he was obsessed with the girl, which would have been a great lead into what you were just saying right there. So
maybe I was naive. I didn't care. I just like the Goblin King has awesome clothes and hair.
And he does that cool thing with the balls.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Creepy ass licking.
Yeah. I really liked the Goblin King.
It's so what about some others that were just not great? Which, by the way, in my research, the ones that bombed out on Rotten Tomatoes and some of these other places, a large part of these, and I kind of want to thread this through our conversation, they're nerd films. Okay? To give us a couple, Jupiter Ascending,
really?
Wild Wild West, Aragon, Chronicles of
Those are
Riddick.
newer ones.
Okay, now
Hold on.
I'm going to point this out.
Please let me finish this thought. Spider-Man 3, John Carter, Batman vs. Superman, and many more. Here's what I'm feeling out of this list. Hollywood doesn't yet understand how to do a good nerd film. They're better now, but looking at this list, Hollywood was doing it wrong. Now, what were you saying, Aaron?
Wild Wild West, it's camp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's not a good film, but it's not designed to be a good film. It's got giant robot spiders, for God's sake.
The reason people bitched about it is because it didn't follow the TV series well enough. They turned it up to 11. By the way, Spinal Tap's on my cult film list.
Yes.
But that's okay. You can be campy. Charlie's Angels, okay? 1 and 2
Yeah.
were campy as shit, and they were nerd films. Because there's no way that any of us are going to see Drew Barrymore's tits otherwise. Oh, wait, no, they're readily available.
Are they? Hold on, I gotta Google something. Carry on.
Right. But you rattle off these, like, Jupiter Ascending. That was the Wachowskis, I believe.
Correct.
And
I
it's not a
that
bad
film.
movie.
No.
Yeah. But it's got some weird stuff going on. Like the roller skating through the air thing.
Right.
And okay, I didn't necessarily get that, but I also don't get why the friggin' why what's her face had pink hair in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Lorna.
Dune.
Yeah,
Wait, that's a cookie.
And Lorna Dane is friggin' Polaris from the X-Men.
And that other one, Dame Laura, isn't that like a man dressed as a woman doing British royalty?
Oh, no.
Dame Judi Dench, I know who that.
While traveling, it's usually best to pack light. When it comes to money, carrying some cash and having an alternative like Zelle is a great idea. Zelle's an easy way to send and receive money with people you trust. At any U.S. bank, it's already in thousands of different banking apps, and it's money straight into your bank account in minutes fast. Look for Zelle in your banking app today. Safe travels.
Holidays are here, and so is fashionable fitness. Gift yourself a Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G, a phone that folds in half to literally stand on its own. Pair it with the Galaxy Watch 4 for ultimate wellness and wow factor. Check health stats, flex personal records. Over 90 activities can be tracked, like biking, swimming, golfing, and more. Invest in yourself with tech made to crush goals. Holidays open up with Galaxy. Shop it all at Samsung.com. 5G connection and availability may vary. Check with carrier. Products sold separately.
That is.
No, she's just a cool man.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, Mike. Have a great night.
So the Wachowskis make good movies, but they're tailored movies. When you get like Speed Racer. Speed Racer is a great movie.
Oh, I like that.
Right, it's cheesy, but if you look at it from a technical standpoint, it's horrible. But you go in there expecting it to be horrible.
It's like the cartoons.
Visually,
right.
It's stimulating. But it's
so
not
was The Matrix.
Great movie at all. But Matrix had a good, solid concept behind it, a philosophy.
It's fucking Star Wars.
Which, by the way, they also put Sucker Punch on some of these worst films. I love Sucker Punch. It was layered and complex, but people just saw chicks in short skirts.
Yeah,
no, it was deep.
The fact that she's seeing the story from an insane person's point of view, it's no different than freaking
Alice in Wonderland?
I see dead people.
Sixth Sense?
Yeah, Sixth Sense.
Okay.
You got an insane kid seeing dead people. That's all that's going on.
She was hallucinating because lobotomy.
Which
all right.
I just liked it because you had your real world physical level, and then she moved to a mental level, then she moved to a spiritual level beyond that. So the insane asylum was her body, the club was in her head, and then the fantasy scenes was the spiritual level where she's healing on one to trickle it back down to the original. Well,
I mean, they did that in Chicago as well.
Yeah, that was an escapism thing. And we interrupted Andrea. And once Andrea said what she says,
sorry.
I want to hit a few comments in our chat because they are having a good time over here.
Hit your comments.
You sure? Hold your thought.
Yeah.
Don't lose your thought. I want to hear it. Especially since your chat's favorite over Aaron and I, and I don't blame them. You're my favorite over Aaron and I, too. Excuse me.
You're my favorite over Travis.
Fucking common sense. I got to scroll up here. I am going to... I don't even know what's relevant at this point in time. Sonny is talking about Labyrinth, and this is 5 minutes ago, so we're a little behind on this. David Bowie's character wasn't human. He's Goblin Fae, so love isn't exactly the same thing. Great out, great escape for us there. Way to do it. Hollywood sucks with nerd films, says Sonny. Michael did say Edge of Tomorrow suffered from weird marketing. Enjoyed it, though. better than trailer. By the way, I love the fact that they're calling out movies that are on my list that they can't see.
What now? Edge of Tomorrow, friggin' Live, Die, Repeat, and all that. Friggin'.
Let me finish reading comments. Just take some notes. This way I get through that and we don't have to backpedal in 15 minutes when we totally tangent. Witch's Door says, when I went to a convention, had a panel idea and execution. Like we had bad idea, great execution versus great idea, horrible execution. Sunny, in reference to her Hollywood sucks for nerd films, they did okay with the MCU, kind of dropped the ball between Age of Ultron and Civil War. Witch's Door also mentions, kind of liked Battleship because it's action, explosions, and pure cheese. I love it for the no thought thing. That has value. We call them popcorn eating movies. And last comment here, Aaron, then we turn it over to you and Andrea, whoever wants to wrestle for first place here. Sonny says, Sucker Punch was good. It was hurt by the fact that people went in thinking it wasn't a movie about mental issues. And I think that's valid.
It was advertised as a TNA movie.
Yeah, and that was the wrong way to look at it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some very beautiful women and some very alluring outfits. But there was a lot more to it. That was the icing on the cake, and you have to cut into the cake to find the layers. If you just lick the cake, you get thrown out of Walmart, apparently. Okay? Andrea, what were your thoughts?
Now, Aaron, go ahead with your Edge of Tomorrow thing.
Oh, Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat. That goes back to, they've got a book on the, what is it? There's a book that experiences the same kind of thing, and it's on the Marine Corps reading list and has been for coming on 30 years now. The idea that this guy is caught in a battle, he messes up, and then he goes back to the beginning of the battle and gets another chance at it over and over and over again. But that was caught in production hell for probably 10 years, and then we started seeing the first advertisements for it 2 years before the movie came out, because it didn't screen well and things like that. But Tom Cruise has ran into this a lot because he's executive producer on all his stuff. You've got Night and Day, which was a over-the-top comedy action film that got edited into something completely different and turned into a horrible movie.
Okay. I'm good with the closing statement. Which, by the way, sorry to interrupt here, when you're looking at nerd films, I almost guarantee that 99% of them are coming from a book. And to not give credit to the book that you paid money to turn into a movie and follow what the audience loved anyway, and instead just gloss over with a lot of icing, it's a dumb move.
Well, they just did that with Artemis Fowl that's on Disney Plus right now.
Yeah. Andrew was just glad to see the Leprechauns.
I love those books. I love the Artemis Fowl series. I started watching the movie, fell asleep.
He surfs in the movie, and he had a hard time climbing a ladder in the books.
Weird. But I love the books.
So, any other thoughts, or should I go back to a list?
I don't know. I have a list, but I'm just waiting.
What do you got, Andrea?
Man.
Well, some movies that... Are we going into the cult followings or just like bad movies?
We could flip over to some cult following stuff because I do have a few of those.
But there's some movies that came out that I didn't even know were B movies, like Fantastic Four.
Well,
yeah.
That was just
a
which
bad
movie. B stands for bad in that one.
Are you talking about the Chris Evans Fantastic Four, or are you talking about the Michael B. Jordan Fantastic Four?
2005. I have no idea.
Okay, that's the Chris Evans one where he plays the Human Torch.
Out of all three of them, the one without the origin story with Silver Surfer was the best of the three.
Oh God, that was a horrible movie.
Yeah, they were all worse. It's if we have a book, comic, or whatever that has 70 years of history, how about this? We don't give an origin story.
I've been saying this for years.
Yeah.
The Incredible Hulk does a great job at this.
Yeah.
Because they do the intro sequence and kind of get the origin in flashes, but they don't actually give it.
Now, which Incredible Hulk? You talk about the bad one with all the cartoon panel type style film? Because actually, the film style was great. The plot was crap. And
What? The film itself, I'm talking about the one with Norris. Edward Norris?
right.
Yeah,
Edward.
before Mark Ruffalo took over.
Right.
That one. Not the Eric Bana one, which was the Hulk.
There you go.
The Eric Bana one, friggin'... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I think you're going to...
Yeah. The Eric Bana one was an origin story. The Edward Norton one was not. But they did a good job. Now, the comic book panels, it's a stylized rendition. I treat it the same way that I treat Speed Racer. Oh, okay. This is what this movie's doing.
And that's the Eric Bana one, and I appreciated that. And I appreciated the Eric Bana one until the end where he's fighting his father, and I'm just like, what? And why is Nick Nolte in this movie at all? Or is it Sam Elliott?
Why isn't Nick Nolte in every movie?
As a homeless guy.
Hey. Just as himself. Okay?
Which I feel like that origin story of that Nick Nolte character that you're suggesting should thread through different movies should be Beverly Hills Cop 4. Nick Nolte loses his job.
Wait. Back in the 80s where there was always a strip club scene? And they just go in and go, look, you got to go, man.
For anybody that misses that, by the way, please enjoy Keanu. You're welcome.
Oh, I love
just an over the top.
Key and Peele.
That's like the greatest. Well, for movies that most people haven't seen, have you seen The Unicorn Store?
Yes, actually. I enjoyed it.
Me too. A lot of people said crap about it, I guess because Brie Larson, it was hers.
She upset
people. Did that. Huh?
She upset people with her opinions and Disney and MCU and backing political agendas in movies. And there's like it's not even like a backlash, it's more like a backwash.
Well, I don't pay attention to that, but she produced this movie and everything, and she got Sam Jackson to be in it.
Right.
I thought it was really good. I don't know a lot of people that have seen it, but it does have to do a lot with, the metaphor of growing up. So, I don't know. I want a unicorn.
That's her takeaway.
That's a good movie, and that's one that kind of got downgraded to the C+ level. I mean, it was Netflix, but it was enjoyable. I liked watching it. Samuel L. Jackson is great in it, like he's great in everything.
Yeah.
Well, Sam Jackson is one of those actors, like Keanu Reeves, who in the right role, he's fucking incredible. Just to give him a role, he's not a diverse actor. He has to have the ability to give a certain amount of attitude or a little... it has to be him as the character. He's not going to do a Dustin Hoffman and become a brand new person every fucking film.
Oh, I think he's been typecast into something like that now.
Okay, he should have never been in Star Wars as a Jedi.
Whatever.
Probably not. But if you go back to some of the old Tom Clancy movies, he played a role in that. And if you watch it, you go, oh, holy shit, that's Samuel Jackson.
By the way, Witch's Door says, I really liked him in The Villain in Kingsman. Yeah, he was incredible there. And he did some acting, and he had his attitude. He had enough of him in it. But
well, he had him in drag.
Kind of. I mean, there was no drag, but kind of.
Really?
That
character is 100% in drag.
That's his original lisp that he went to speech therapy for.
Yeah.
He brought that back because he wanted who's the guy that runs Facebook nowadays? Well, all the days. He is Frozone. Okay, that's fair, Witches. I'm not knocking Sam Jackson. I love Sam Jackson.
Where is my super suit?
And one of my favorite Sam Jackson movies is Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yes.
Andrew, what were you saying?
Zuckerberg is what Witch's Door said. No, with the lisp, it made him more relatable.
Yeah.
That makes the best villains. Just like, what are we watching? The Boys?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if anybody's watching that and has seen what's that movie with Bryan Cranston, or the show with Bryan Cranston?
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, he's in that. The guy that's in Boys is in there, and he's a great villain. I don't know. I like him.
She's talking about Stan Edgar, the leader of the corporation in The Boys, and so it's a light-skinned black guy, older gentleman, really incredible.
And Breaking Bad, he ran the chicken restaurants.
There you go.
So I don't know. I don't know the actor's name, but I like him because it's subtle, and it's like the best villain.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, in my list, I have like everything from the happy stuff, and of course we've got to put Spaceballs in there.
See, here's the thing. When it comes to Rotten Tomatoes,
or no?
What's that?
Is that considered a B movie?
I think any parody is automatically aiming to be a B movie that's just drawing from whatever it's parodying. I have a list of cult films I'd like to mention a few of. And the reason...
Spaceballs.
Huh?
Spaceballs.
Yeah, that could be considered a cult film. A lot of these, and the reason I want to do this is because this will be an hour podcast, and I want to make sure we can kind of hit on our favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me see what I got here. Oh my God, should I start with the big money ones that failed, or no? Let's go straight for the ones that are in cult status. Evil Dead and Army of Darkness is in there.
Okay.
Princess Bride is in there. Repo, Clerks, Blade Runner. One of my favorite, quote, Clue. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I just looked at chat. Witch's Door said Clue.
Clue.
Yeah. And by the way, right up there with Clue, people should go watch Oscar with Sylvester Stallone and Tim Curry.
Love that movie.
Yeah. If you liked Clue, you will like this movie. It's got the same Keystone Cops.
Well, it was an over-the-top friggin' kind of experimental thing that they did.
And it's failed, but we need more of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd rather them fail like that and have a good movie than something like Pluto Nash.
Fair.
Which I love, but it's a horrible movie.
I avoid Eddie Murphy ever since, like, The Golden Child. And I don't avoid him because of Golden Child. I avoid him because, like, The Clumps came after Golden Child.
The Golden Child is a great movie.
I enjoyed it.
No, I love that movie. That I actually own that on DVD. It's a great movie. It's actually one of his better early films. I like it better than I like friggin' 24 hours or 48 hours. Excuse me.
He only watched half the movie. Okay, I'll hit a little more on my list, and then Andrea can hit a little on hers, and we'll pick stuff and just jump right on it. I mentioned Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Fight Club, Blues Brothers, Donnie Darko, Pink Floyd, Clockwork Orange, Pulp Fiction, Spinal Tap, Big Lebowski, of course, kind of the show leader for cult films, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, I was going to say, you better name that.
You're lucky that Emmy is not sitting here. She loves that film.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
She was actually looking up Tim Curry yesterday. But more importantly, it has Meatloaf. Meatloaf, an outstanding actor who has been in such fine films as Fight Club, but also Spice World. And if you have not seen Spice World, you are doing yourself a disservice and should go smack yourself.
Isn't that another Michelle Pfeiffer? No, it's the other one who is Sharon Stone.
What, Spice World?
Yeah.
No, it had the Spice Girls. It had the Spice Girls with Meatloaf as their bus driver.
What's the Cool World is what I'm thinking of.
Oh, Cool World is horrible.
Two more on this list. Heathers.
Okay.
The original, not the remake. And Andrea,
there was
just
a remake?
for you, here's a favorite cult film of Andrea's that people don't think of as a cult film. Hocus Pocus.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely a cult film.
It is now.
Right.
Well, no, because it came out at the same, or it was scheduled to come out at the same time as Nightmare Before Christmas. They had very similar theme thematic episodes, and Disney, in the right mind, did not want to cause money to be taken away from one film or the other, so they released it on VHS, and it was on cable constantly. It's not a good movie, except for the fact that the boyfriend had his mouth sewn shut, and then when he finally cuts it open, he chews her a new asshole.
It's a great movie. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's a horrible movie, sir.
I
love it.
You can just cut it down to the scenes with the Sanderson sisters, and I'd be happy. I don't care about the rest.
I mean, don't light the black candles. I mean, that's how we got to 2020.
Andrea, what's on your list? And I do want to read a few. Actually, let me read comments real quick, because I'm very pleased. Chad is definitely responding here. Hocus Pocus totally bombed at first. Nightmare Before Christmas is technically a cult classic. Witch's Door had those comments. Sonny says, when it came out, it wasn't a big hit, but it was campy and interesting enough to become a cult. It wasn't supposed to be serious. I don't know which movie. I think she means Hocus Pocus there, but yeah, little love to Sanderson's sisters, especially Winifred and Bette Midler. Not even worried about the blonde. Don't even remember her name. Just love the vacuum riding one. And Bette Midler is, yeah. Andrea.
Okay. Playing on the Spice World, which I haven't seen. I will have to go watch because I put it on my list. Josie and the Pussycats.
Okay, yeah.
I love that movie. It is campy and stupid, and it shows how boy bands were started.
What about Gem and the Holograms?
Oh.
The movie or the TV series?
Both. I don't care.
There's only one that existed. Go ahead.
Okay. So as far as like B movies, like cult things, one I found recently, the Lost Skeleton and Cadabra. They're playing that like they do the Rocky Horror Picture Show at midnight at some places and stuff. So, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, some of my favorites.
Oh, and that's got a young Christopher Titus in it.
Oh, does it really?
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yes.
Yeah. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is another one I like.
I actually prefer the second one because it's they went over the top with that one.
So, there was one in 78, and when was the other one?
It was like 81 or something like that.
Yeah. I like that one too.
That's the one where they start off and they're making pizzas out of like peanut butter and stuff like that because tomatoes have been outlawed.
Yeah. Ew. I did some research. Little Shop of Horrors. I love that one. My kid was talking about it today. He's like, "Have you seen this movie?" Yes, of course I have. But I didn't realize that there is a 1960s version with Jack Nicholson in it. Little Shop of Horrors. It's not a musical. Gonna have to watch that. Another big one, Mystery Science Theater 3000, which is coming back because they're still doing that.
Well,
that's
they brought
a big
it back a couple times, and I never felt it did as great as the first. I felt like the first.
No,
yeah,
it's never the same, but it's still going and it's still a thing. And speaking of nerdy, because that's what I think of with that. So I don't know. And Death Race.
Death Race 2000?
Yeah.
Or the original one.
That's what it is. I can't read my writing. I just put Death Race.
I have the original on DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, I love that movie. Especially when you realize that Jack Burton is not the hero, he's the sidekick.
It's so stupid all around. I love that movie. I mean, I have so many on my list. Most of them are horror movies, but...
Now, we only have a few minutes left in this podcast. Do you want to talk about your rabbit hole?
Yeah. Whoa, sir. I think we're PG-13, not NC-17.
Oh, no. We're rated R here.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was looking up horror movies, and I love Rob Zombie horror movies, like House of a Thousand Corpses and Halloween and stuff like that. So I'm looking at that, and then I saw a thing. It says, "Where did the moaning for, the beginning of White Zombie song come from?" And I clicked on it, and I'm doing all this stuff, and it came from like an 80s porn cafe or flesh cafe. So that's the porn. That's where the soundtrack came from. I haven't seen that one.
All
but
right.
it's like the green door.
Hard cut off. Year 2001 for any porn. Okay.
Why?
If I wanted to watch Italians have sex, I would.
But we missed the whole John Holmes, Ron Jeremy, and Christy Canyon era in the 90s. Well, John Holmes in the 70s and 80s.
Did we? Did we really miss it?
Somewhere.
The
Okay,
90s.
because Ron Jeremy's been fat since 1984.
Pretty much.
That's when his really took off, when he gained the weight. Go figure.
Because here's a fat guy with a huge Italian sausage attacking people. Andrea, what else you got there before I start in our wrap up for this episode?
Oh, I don't know. I just have a big list. Clockwork Orange, Tank Girl.
Well, any of the Stanley Kubricks are kind of niche films anyway. Don't get me wrong, he's fun, but we can go back and we can How I Learned to Love the Atomic Bomb.
I don't.
So for closing thoughts on this, how about we each just kind of go around and mention one of our favorite cult films or B films, either one, and one of the worst films in our personal opinion. Without discussion, just laying it down, then I'll go into the closing banter here. Aaron, can we start with you?
Sure. Hudson Hawk.
Great film.
Best intro there is.
Just the whole film. Very true.
Mm-hmm.
And a bad one that's people liked?
Well, I don't know if anybody liked it, but it's a great film.
No. One that you hated that everybody else liked.
Oh, Pocahontas. Absolutely despise that movie. It is total crap.
Fair. Andrea?
I don't know. A movie I really like it right now. Knights of Badassdom.
That's fun. That's fun. And
Daniel
one that
Pudi and
Good, Aaron.
What's his face? Tyrion Bannister.
Peter Dinklage.
Yes, that him.
I don't know one that I didn't like that a lot of people did. I can't think of it right now because I don't pay that much attention.
Okay, good enough. Now, for me, I'm going to kind of repeat the first things. Oh, wow. Witch's Door, by the way, says Reservoir Dogs. I can't get past the first 10 minutes. Really, a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies are that way. Either they're really great or they're not. And it can flip from movie to movie for different viewers.
Destiny Turns on the Radio is a great one to kind of get into him.
Never even heard of it.
Oh.
So, for me, I guess one that I loved that other people hate. I'm looking at my list because there was a few people in here. I've already mentioned a couple of these, so I'm going to look for something else. Love Guru and Land of the Lost were both on this horrible, horrible movie list. I love both those movies. And by the way, if you want Land of the Lost with Will Ferrell to be so much fucking funnier, go catch the very first episode of the 1970s TV show and watch just the first episode, then go watch the movie with Will Ferrell. So much more comedy value. As for one everybody else liked that I didn't, I think I really have to lean into, as a huge Star Wars fan, what Aaron said, and basically the prequels for Star Wars.
Nobody likes them.
It's I tell you what, with a little bit of editing, they could be okay movies, but you need to yank.
The holiday special.
By the way, I saw a place online that was selling frames from the holiday special, so you could have a piece of Star Wars history. Okay, so let's wrap this up real quick, and then I want to remind everybody our next episode will be Andrea, Aaron, and myself will be together again for movie theater features, where we'll be comparing going out to the movies versus our home theaters that we have nowadays, which are both amazing. And Yeah, other than that, there's been no mail, but if you guys ever do want to email us, and if you're listening on the podcast, on Pandora or Spreaker, etc., hold on a second, I've got to repeat this message here in chat. So, don't forget, you can catch us live on twitch.tv/Travis Tavern Talk. And if you want to email us, talkofthetavernshow@gmail.com. That's talkofthetavernshow@gmail.com. And we might read your stuff on air. You can give birthday wishes or messages or thoughts on the previous episodes. Also, I want to make sure you guys know you can join us on Saturday Night Live for the live stream that we turn into a broadcast for Right Night, which stars Aaron and Michael Thompson and myself and other guests on different weeks, as well as Sunday nights, where both Aaron and Andrea join me for Stealing for Survival, which is my Dungeons & Dragons game, which we play in the world that the book series Portals takes place in. Other than that, I want to thank everybody tonight. Michael Thompson for cheering those bits, Andrea for that subscription, everybody else for showing up, subscribing, supporting, clicking that share button on social media to share the shows as they happen and come out, and just all in all, hanging out. Guys, we are out of here, and we will talk to you soon. Where is my outro music? Oh, here we go. I got some. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us in the discussion shenanigans tonight. You are the one thing that makes the show what it is. Don't forget to join us at the tavern next week. Until then, have fun, keep learning, and be good to one another. Now, raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day and steamy dreams every night.
This holiday season, we all wish for hope and healing. Children and families who spend their holidays at the hospital deserve a reason to believe in first steps, in giggles, high fives, and hugs. For 150 years, Children's National Hospital has provided world-class care and groundbreaking research. Please donate today to help patients and healthcare heroes this holiday season. Visit childrensnational.org/holiday. That's childrensnational.org/holiday.
With MailChimp, you get a whole lot more than a URL. You get an all-in-one marketing platform to help drive sales. That means you can connect your data to make more informed, smarter decisions. And you get powerful automation tools like our Customer Journey Builder to ensure you never miss an opportunity to turn shoppers into loyal customers. So if you're ready to integrate your marketing and boost sales, get started today at MailChimp.com/smartmarketing. MailChimp, built for growing businesses.